How's it going, everybody? It's Rice Duke back yet again to bring you the Season 7, Episode 3 review of Game of Thrones. I'm going to keep this review a bit short because there's not really much happening this week. Yeah, there's a lot you can say, but for this episode, I'm just going to keep it kind of short. So let's talk about the storylines. Start off with Dragonstone. Jon Snow finally meets Daenerys. But first off, he meets Tyrion on the beach, meets Missandei, and he kind of has a big sort of argument with Daenerys in the throne room about who's a proper lord, who if he should bend the knee or not, about their ancestors, how the Mad King burned his grandfather, all that stuff. And it's basically just a big argument how they need to fight the White Walkers, but no one believes them, and Daenerys is kind of seeing him as a rebel and traitor. So, yeah, it's a good scene, I guess. Not really much to say there. Daenerys is really getting annoying. I'm hoping the fan base is starting to turn on her as well, because you can just tell that they're trying to make her into a character that people are not supposed to like for a good portion of the season, but then later she'll come around and sort of start supporting Jon and everybody and try to fight the White Walkers. They're kind of giving her a little bit of a character arc this season, kind of struggling with the ruling and all that. But also, on other scenes we have on Dragonstone, we have Jon and Tyrion having a good conversation about if they believe in the White Walkers or not. And it was a good conversation, some good callbacks to Season 1, which I enjoy. There's been a lot of callbacks to Season 1 lately, so I've been enjoying that quite a bit. It's kind of weird. Tyrion's kind of annoying me as a character lately. He's not really been doing much. He's kind of just being the skeptic, kind of loyal to Daenerys. And to be honest, I'm not really fond of Tyrion's character lately. He's really starting to be annoying. It's not because I support Jon and he's not supporting Jon. It's just more of like, Tyrion's not really a character anymore. He's just sort of like a plot mover. He's just sort of there to say things and move things along. But other than that, it was an alright scenes at Dragonstone. They're just starting that arc of Dany-Jon conflict, which is cool. I kind of know where this is all going to go. In the end, she'll probably end up supporting them. And I think there's kind of probably be a romance between Jon and Dany brewing. And you can sort of tell that that's going to happen, and I guess that's fine. Like, she looks back at him when they're both looking over the cliffs at Dragonstone. She kind of looks back at him and gives him that look. You can tell that she's kind of into him. She kind of admires him in a way. So that was a cool scene. Even though I don't like the Dany and Jon pairing. I don't like that shipping. I'm not a fan of that, but it was an alright scene. It wasn't as bad as I thought it would be because they had callbacks to Season 1 and they're kind of starting to develop an arc between these two and Daenerys believing in the validity of the White Walkers and all that. King's Landing, so basically Euron brings back Yara, Ellaria, and Tyene back to King's Landing amongst a cheering crowd, brings them to Cersei, kind of has some conversations with Jaime, and it is a really good scene. Like, I love how he's just bowing in front of everybody, and he's kind of making comments, and how he's asking Jaime, hey, what should I do with her? Does she like it this way? Euron's really great this season, and he's really impressing me. They really kind of improved on Euron's character from last season, and they're really making the kind of evil, cool badass that he sort of is in the books. And he's comedic, he's fun, they don't overdo it, and that's what I'm liking with Euron. Also, Cersei, she gets her revenge on Ellaria by poisoning Tyene, her daughter, and I just love how Lena Headey performs as Cersei. She's just like so evil, and I just love it. The thing I love the most about Game of Thrones is when people do evil ass shit. And when Cersei did that, I was really enjoying that. And it's like, yes, this is the type of stuff that we watch the show for. When people do really evil and dark, twisted stuff, this is when the show is the best. And it kind of showed in this episode as well, when she did that with Tyene, poisoning her the same way that Ellaria killed Myrcella. So we have good poetry there. Other scenes in King's Landing, I believe Jaime and Cersei kind of have their little exchange. Jaime and Cersei bang again, which I guess we see every season, so it's just one of those season by season thing where Jaime and Cersei bang. And it was kind of funny because Cersei basically answers the door to one of her handmaidens or one of the servants, and Jaime's just lying in bed. He's like, oh, don't answer the door, I don't want people to see it. She's like, I'm the queen, who cares? She's just acknowledging at this point. Everyone knows they're together, everyone knows they're incest, but she just doesn't care. So Cersei doesn't give a shit, and that's what I'm starting to like about Cersei. She just stopped caring. She's got her power, and Cersei's honestly impressing me this season. Cersei's been making some moves. If you can't tell, in this war between Cersei and Dany lately, Cersei's definitely pulling in more of the victories. Like, holy crap, Cersei's got like 3 good victories. I'll get to that later, but like, Daenerys needs to step her game up because Cersei's really putting in this work. And another scene we have is Cersei talking to the Iron Bank of Braavos, the guy who gave Stannis his loan back in Season 4. His name is Tycho. He's kind of an important character in the books right now with Stannis' storyline, but they brought him back. I thought they completely abandoned the Iron Bank plot, but clearly they haven't, which really impressed me. This show is actually keeping up with consistency and continuity lately, which is a surprise, and that's why this season is kind of much better than the last seasons in terms of that. So I'm really liking it lately. I'm really impressed with the showrunners and how they're actually doing the continuity with the Iron Bank plot, which I thought was completely abandoned. In Season 5, they tried to do that with Mace Tyrell, how he goes to Braavos, talks to the Iron Bank, but this season they brought it back, and the guy wants his gold back. Like, yes, the crown owes the Iron Bank money, and Cersei says, you will get this money. Do not worry, you'll get this money. Or the gold, or whatever. And so she's going to pay it back, and it looks like from the preview they're going to find some gold somewhere. I don't know where, but it's really interesting. But other than that, King's Landing scenes really did it for me in this episode. It's probably the best part. King's Landing is really impressing me lately. Cersei, Jaime, all this stuff. Great scenes, really evil-ass cool shit. Euron's amazing, such a badass. I just love how he just poses and bows in front of everybody. He's just having so much fun being evil, and I love it. He's amazing. He's one of the best new characters lately. But anyways, him and Cersei are going to have their alliance once the war is over, I assume. But he's still fighting. We get to see him later on in the episode. When they attack Casterly Rock, the Unsullied and Grey Worm attack Casterly Rock. They basically take it through the sewers, because Tyrion knew about the sewers. He used to work on the sewers. It was back in Season 2, he was telling Varys that I was in charge of the sewer system, so they used that to their advantage. They sneak into the Casterly Rock, they take the castle, they lose a lot of men, but they take it. But then their entire fleet gets burned by Euron again, so dude, the Lannisters are putting in some victories here. Like, yeah, the Unsullied have Casterly Rock, but their fleet's gone, and they don't have much men left. So I'm really impressed with that. And also, they take Highgarden, the Lannisters and the Tarleys. So basically, Jaime, Randall, Dickon, Randall's son, and Bronn, and a whole Lannister army, the rest of the Lannister army, because there weren't many at Casterly Rock. They use the rest of their forces and they attack Highgarden. They take Highgarden. We don't get to see the battle, which was a little disappointing. The battle at Casterly Rock was okay. It was very quick, and it was just kind of dialogue over Tyrion speaking. It was okay. Wish there was more of that, but they're kind of moving the plot along, and I assume they're going to leave the big battles to the next episode. But we get to see Highgarden being taken. We don't see how. They just kind of cut ahead. But basically, Jaime and Olenna have their conversation, and Jaime lets Olenna drink the wine. You can tell Olenna respects Jaime more than she respects Cersei, obviously, and it just shows kind of how Jaime's a more morally good character, and how he lets her drink the wine instead of being flayed like Cersei, or wanting to be beheaded like Cersei wanted her to be. So that was a really good scene, and she admits to killing Joffrey, which is really cool. Too bad Olenna's gone. She was a great character, but I feel like she was gonna die anyways. Like, there's been a lot of casualties in this season so far, and I figured that she'd be one of them. I mean, they were gonna take Highgarden eventually. It was a good scene, very well acted. Diana Rigg, who plays Olenna, does a fine job. Jaime Nikolai Coster-Waldau, who did a great job in that scene as well. Good dialogue, good acting, good references to Joffrey's death where she admits it. Sad to see her go, but not really, because it's just how it is. She's an epic character. She went out epically, and she had a lot of integrity. She drank that wine, and she didn't care. So it was good send off to Olenna. Anyways, other scenes we have Sam at the Citadel, where Jorah's free to go. Now he's healed Jorah. He's got the whole infection gone, which is, it seems a bit too convenient that Sam was able to do that. That's really weird. Like, only in fiction would, like, a main character be able to heal something like that. Like, no one else would have been able to pull that off, but since Sam's the main character and Jorah's important, they figured, why not? Let's let it work, just for the purpose of the plot. So Jorah's free to go. I assume he's going to go back to Dragonstone, see Dany. I assume Sam would have got expelled from the Citadel for conducting the experiment and curing Jorah, but no, he just has to clean up a bunch of papers, and yeah, it's pretty good. Good to see that Jorah's well off. Good to see that they've finally finished that plot up. Very short 2-episode plot, Sam healing Jorah. Good stuff. Glad to see that Jorah's back to health. I assumed he would have been healed. As soon as I saw him at the Citadel in episode 1, I knew he'd be healed. So good advancement on that part, but not much more to say. Winterfell. We have scenes at Winterfell this episode. Sansa's kind of in charge. She's got her little entourage. Basically, this is who's ruling Winterfell now. Littlefinger, Sansa, Bronze Yohn Royce, and Maester Walken. And she, at first, it doesn't really seem like she knows what she's doing, but she's trying, you know, she's trying. Sansa's supposed to be the ruler of Winterfell because she has more right than Jon does. So it's fine to see her rule, but you can tell that she doesn't really know what she's doing that much. But it was cool. she's kind of like telling them to put the fur on the armor for the winter, so she's trying to be concerned about that. She's concerned about the war, all that kind of stuff. And Bran returns to Winterfell. So Bran returns to Winterfell. We get a reunion, heartfelt reunion between Sansa and Bran. The thing is, it would have been more heartfelt if we had seen scenes with Bran and Sansa back in season 1, because it's like they hug and it's like, oh yeah, they're back together, but we never really saw them talk before. Like, yeah, they were in the lineup together. It'd be more like emotional if it was like Arya and Sansa, because they had like they had a lot of scenes together in season 1. So them reuniting, which I know will happen soon because we see Arya in the preview coming to Winterfell. So, but anyways, let's not get off topic. Bran returns to Winterfell, hugs Sansa, basically says, I'm the three-eyed raven now, I can't be Lord of Winterfell. Everyone assumed Bran was dead, and they all look surprised. It was a good scene where they're sitting in the God's Wood together, and he's telling her, like, oh, you look beautiful on your wedding night, because he can see everything. So you could tell Sansa was getting really uncomfortable about that, because that was kind of a traumatic experience for her, and Bran just brought that up just to kind of show his powers. Good scene, glad to see them reunited, moving that plot along. I assume Littlefinger will try to intervene with Bran and Sansa and try to set up some sort of conflict between them. That's my guess, but other than that, the Winterfell scene's better than last week. No annoying Lyanna Mormont, no stupid arguments in the hall, so that's good. I enjoy that about the episode. This episode felt very quick. I don't believe I'm missing any other scenes. I know there's a scene between Melisandre and Varys. I didn't think it was that important. I just think she's going back to Volantis. That's all I know. But other than that, the episode was okay. It was alright. Like, it felt really quick and it didn't really do much, but it also did a lot at the same time. Like, we got the taking of Casterly Rock, the taking of Highgarden, and Alina's death. We got Cersei getting her revenge on Ellaria and Euron returning. We get the Iron Bank plot being brought up. We get Dany and Jon having their arguments, trying to find Dragonglass. Oh yeah, and Dany says Jon can mine his Dragonglass, so that's good. And they're going to try to be allies, but you can tell there's going to be some more arguments between them. There was also another scene in this episode. Theon gets saved by the Ironborn that survived the battle, so it's good to know Theon's still alive. I assume he'll return to Dragonstone the next episode. But other than that, it was pretty solid. A lot of plot advancements, but it just felt very fast, and you can tell the series is really winding down at this point. They're getting rid of characters that don't need to be there. They're just like rushing. I wouldn't say they're rushing things. They're just trying to very fastly and quickly advance these plots, so they just get them over with. They can get things done, because you can tell like the series is coming to an end. But other than that, I think the episode was fine. I didn't really have any big issues or problems with it per se. I just thought it was a bit fast, and I could have felt that we could have seen more of the battles at Casterly Rock and at Highgarden. But other than that, episode was good. I will give it a B+. Same grade as the last 2 episodes. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. As always, remember to like, comment, and subscribe if you're new. It'll really help out. I'm Rice Duke, and I'll catch you guys later.